precisely did you decapitate Satan?
That was Jesse Waters of Fox News. Complete fucking idiot. So this is a political candidate beheaded a satanic temple statue. Now he faces charges. Michael Cassidy, a former U.S. Navy pilot, destroyed a display of Baphomet which was being featured at Iowa State Capitol. This is one that I chose for last week, and I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't get to do this last week, because immediately at like Thursday morning, it came out that this guy had decapitated the statue. I'm like, oh, well, if I had covered that, then I would have only covered that the statue existed, not that some guy decapitated it. So yeah, former Mississippi political candidate is facing criminal charges after a bedazzled statue of Baphomet, a figure associated with the Satanic Temple, was discovered decapitated at the Iowa State Capitol. That's a bit misleading. It wasn't discovered decapitated. He turned himself in immediately after doing it because he thought that would win him cred points or whatever.
I turned myself in for this because I believe that the United States government deserves to know what I did, but they also deserve to know that I was right and everything I did was sponsored by the best sponsor in the world, God.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
And also probably Coffee Brand Coffee.
I don't know if Carl's Jr. is actually a real company. I just know that's the idiocracy thing.
Wait, Carl's Jr., you mean Hardee's? Because that's just the other half of Hardee's.
I don't know. I just know that in Idiocracy, one of the members of the president's cabinet finishes every sentence with "brought to you by Carl's Jr." because he's been sponsored by them. Yeah,
so Carl's Jr. is a fast food company, and on the East Coast where I live, they're called Hardee's, but they are called Carl's Jr. elsewhere.
Oh, YouTube chat is apparently not showing up on the stream, or on the... I don't know how long that's been happening. I'm sorry. I don't feel like doing tech support at this point, so it's just frozen. Go to Twitch. Twitch.tv/ViceRhino. You can chat there and it'll show up. So, sorry about that. Yeah, so Michael Cassidy, 35, former U.S. Navy pilot, told Fox News that he saw the controversy surrounding the display, which was heavily criticized by Republican politicians like Ron DeSantis, and drove to the Iowa Capitol to see it for himself. He said it hit a nerve and went on to destroy it. Ron DeSantis has since then come out in support of this guy, so keep that in mind when they claim that we're the violent ones, that they are the ones that are being like, oh, this is an outrage. It would be a shame if somebody would tear that down. And then when somebody tears it down, they're like, oh, I like that guy teared it down, but I'm not trying to promote violence or stuff like this.
You have to ask yourself, when you're looking at these statues that get ripped down, they're probably going to point to people ripping down Confederate statues as their evidence of like, no, but it's okay when you guys do it. Well, what does the statues represent?
Suris. It's delicious. So this guy was was campaigning for office. I'm going to skip to the end here. According to an archived version of his campaign website, Cassidy pushed for a 10-year minimum prison sentence for anyone who destroys the statue in his own state.
Wait a minute.
So he was pushing for people to get a 10-year minimum for doing pretty much what he did. Like, it was about statues, not Christmas decorations. But
so he should get a 10-year minimum sentence.
Yeah, according to his own campaign site. Yeah.
Like, he advocated for it. I mean, he obviously...
Also, I'd like to point out the clip that I got the Jesse Waters bit from Fox News. He's such a fucking idiot. They actually used the fact that the Supreme Court has upheld blasphemy laws recently as evidence that this was okay. Like, you think that upholding blasphemy laws is a good thing?
They do, though. Like, unironically, they do.
Yeah, no, I know they do, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's just wild to me.
Like, I've noticed a really dangerous uptick in the amount of people that are willing to call themselves a nationalist, a fascist, or a Christian version of either of them. People who advocate for theocracy. Like, it used to be just a meme, right? when you look at Kent Hovind and he would advocate for a theocratic nation, or you look at Steven Anderson and you know he's serious because he's a piece of shit, but you're like, you know what, at least it's only the extremists, it's only the crazy people. But no, there's been an uptick since 2016 of people in Congress who are okay with these things and okay describing themselves this way. And it's not just the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, but don't worry, she calls herself a Christian nationalist too.
Yeah. That's delightful. So yeah, this was the first time in history that Iowa's Satanic Temple chapter had been allowed to put up a display at the state capitol. Oh yeah, I'd also like to point out that in the same Jesse Waters clip, they were talking about how Satanism has never been recognized by the government as a valid religion, so they don't have the right to have the thing there. To which I would say, why do the courts get to, like, okay, I know RFRA, there's a whole sincerely held religious beliefs thing, but like, why do the courts get to adjudicate what's a valid religion?
You just use the courts to adjudicate that Christianity is not a valid religion. Boom.
Well, yeah, would they accept that if the courts adjudicated that Christianity is not valid? No, they would not accept that. So like what the courts say about a religion says nothing about the validity of that religion. And that's actually the whole problem with RFRA and the whole sincerely held religious beliefs thing, because you have to assume that everyone who comes to you and says, this is my sincerely held religious belief, you have to assume that they mean it. And so many of them don't. But usually it's Christians, and the courts are very heavily biased in favor of Christianity, so they get away with it. And this is why separation of church and state is such an important issue. So I would agree that the Satanic Temple display should not have been up there. Neither should a Christian one, because the government should not be seen to endorse any religion. But if they're going to endorse a religion, they should endorse all the religions. Like, any religion that wants to put up a display should be allowed to. And the fact that this guy thought it was justified to go tear it down because it's not a religion he approves of is just stupid.
I hope none of this is stuff that I have to hear in 5 days when I go to Christmas with my very conservative family. Because, like, during Thanksgiving, there was already a moment where people started talking about Trump, and I just kind of like sat there going, I don't have to be there the entire time. It's okay. We're here for a little bit. We don't start a fight. It's fine. You get the ability to say everything you want 100% of the time. You can manage this one time.
Yeah. So in the days following the destruction, the Satanic Temple of Iowa was able to raise thousands of dollars in donations. I mean, so was that guy. He raised over $40,000 to go towards his legal fees, which, like, worst case scenario, if he had been found guilty, it was 1 year in prison and like a $2,000 fine. So he raised like 20 times what the maximum financial penalty would have been out of just people being like, oh yeah, it's the war on Christmas. Or no, this isn't even about Christmas, I don't think.
Yeah, we're not even at the war on Christmas. I haven't actually heard anybody legitimately say war on Christmas stuff yet, and it's
okay. You haven't been watching Fox then, because they have been.
I don't tend to watch Fox. That's probably why. I don't watch Fox either, but I listen to Decoding Fox News. This is the Decoding Fox News shill podcast. She's not paying me, and I don't want her to pay me. She's just great the way she is. Everybody should listen to it. It's amazing. I just have to know what goes through somebody's head when they I know what it is. It's that they think that they're on a righteous crusade. People like this think that they are on the right side because God ordains them. So it's okay for them to go do violence, or a stand-in for violence in this case. It's all right for them to do it, but it's not okay when other people do it, when they're like, slavery was bad, so we get rid of the statues of people who did the slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, so remember how I said I wasn't going to fix the YouTube chat because...
I just saw you flicker it.
Yeah, I fixed it. And that's because I learned how to fix things on different scenes off camera without broadcasting that to the whole world.
You've done it via magic.
Yay! Seems like I might actually... Well... Yeah, okay. Seems like I might actually kind of know what I'm doing sometimes.
Every now and again, there's a glimmer of hope.
So yeah, Satanic Temple said, we were thrilled to be part of the Iowa State Capitol's holiday display for the first time this year. Despite experiencing the destruction and beheading of our display, we carry with us a sense of accomplishment. And like, yeah, this made them a shit ton of money, so yes, of course they did. And now my chat seems to be frozen again. Oh no, there it goes. It's just weird.
Boy.
So yeah, then Lucian Greaves, the leader of the Satanic Temple, said it was a real act of cowardice dressed up as heroism. Like, yeah, he can't tolerate the fact that people have different beliefs from him, so he had to literally tear down their display that was not doing any harm to anybody.
It should have been a nativity, and there should have been Super Jesus on it. You don't understand.
There probably
right now.
was a nativity right around the corner.
There should have been 2 nativities.
Yeah. Probably. Sure. Why not? Yeah, so here we go. Cassidy was arrested and faces vandalism charges, which could carry a 1-year prison sentence and a $2,560 fine. So that's the maximum term. He has since been released and raised $40,000 in legal fees following praise from Republican politicians, like Ron DeSantis, and far-right pundits across the country. So, like, the guy's making bank from having vandalized someone else's display. Like, how would they feel if somebody did the same thing to a nativity scene and beheaded the baby Jesus and then raised $40,000 from it? Do you think they'd be happy about that? Like, these people are completely incapable of feeling empathy for anyone with different beliefs.
They would say that that's evidence that George Soros is funding everything.
So, Lekis Cool says the stream does keep lagging, but if you've already had to reset it, I'm just blaming the store over my house right now. No, it's on my end. I have been seeing it freeze up every now and then. OBS still keeps freezing. I don't know why. It's stupid. Like, I don't know. Like, if I look at my performance, no, I am not recording. I am not recording locally.
So it's just
so like. My CPU is only at 30% usage. My memory is at 47% usage. Ethernet is only transferring like 7 megabits per second. I have a 1.5 gig connection, so that's like 1% of my connection speed is being used right now. My GPU is at it's okay. GPU is fluctuating a bit more than the other things, but it's like 12 to 20% most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. My equipment should be able to handle this shit. My equipment's saying that it's handling it fine, but then OBS just keeps fucking up.
It's just lying to you. You can't trust it.
They're saying the audio is fine. It's just the visual that freezes, which I've been kind of assuming that. So I'm glad that you guys can still hear me when I'm not waving my arms around. So that's fine.
Audio only listeners, y'all are getting the best experience of all time.
Yeah.
Everybody else, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the Satanist Temple. And speaking of audio only listeners,
hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Red Joker, Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Agamotto, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.